everyone, welcome to our channel Knowledge of Friends. Subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon for the latest update. आज हम लोग रीजनिंग की क्लास करेंगे जिसे हम MLP कहते हैं, जो कि मिसलेनियस लॉजिकल पजल्स हैं। और आज की क्लास की अगर हम बात करते हैं तो दिस इज़ जो क्लास 173। ऑलरेडी हमने 172th क्लासेस कर लिया है रीजनिंग में, जो कि हमने बहुत सारे टॉपिक कर लिए हैं। बहुत सारे बच्चे बोल रहे थे कि लाइक दे वांट द क्लासेस ऑफ दैट इज़ योर the aptitude classes. So dear, you can go on through with the playlist. वहाँ पे आपको aptitude classes मिलेंगी जिसमें आपके बहुत सारे topics cover up कर लिए हैं. You can just gone through with that, and after that we'll start after completing this reasoning here. Then after that we'll start with your mathematical reasoning that has been coming in your competition paper. And first of all, it's a huge request to all of you to please like, share, and subscribe our channel so that many and maximum people can get the information at once, and even though you can also enjoy the video as well. In the terms of the reasoning, that is divided into two parts, that is verbal reasoning and non-verbal reasoning. Verbal reasoning already हम first part discuss कर चुके हैं, and आज की क्लास में हम second part भी इसका complete कर लेंगे. So what we had studied about it, that first is the analogy, the second is the classification, the series completion, decoding, a blood relation, and then we had done about puzzle test, then sequential output tracing, and then a direction sense test, and then a logical Venn diagram as well, and then alphabet test, and उसके बाद फिर number ranking, time sequence test as well. उसके बाद है फिर mathematical operation, logical sequence of words, and then after that arithmetic reasoning. उसके बाद है inserting the missing character, data sufficiency, and then decision making as well. In the regard of it, the assertions and reason as well, and situation reaction test, then verification of the truth of the statement as well. In the logic reasoning, that is the second part of the verbal reasoning here, that we had covered up here, that is your logic, and that we have statement arguments, statement assumptions as well, and then statement codes of action, and statement conclusion, deriving conclusion from the passages, theme detection, question statement, just write it on question statement. And then अब आज हम miscellaneous logical puzzles कर रहे हैं. So all total हम already 29 to 30 topics already complete कर चुके हैं. So it's a huge level class, and that is coming to your competition paper. To do like, share, and subscribe our channel. Now we'll discuss about the miscellaneous logical puzzle. That is also an important one here. In the regard of a miscellaneous logical puzzles, you have to conclude the passage, and in the last classes that you have to go through with the passage. Now you don't have to go through with that. How you solve these type of question miscellaneous logical puzzle is that clearly in each of the following questions, that examine the given statement carefully and find out which two of the statement cannot be true simultaneously, but can both be false as well. In the regard of it, now we'll start with the question here. The first is that all animals are carnivorous. The second is some animals are not carnivorous. The third is the animals are not carnivorous, and the fourth is the some animals are carnivorous. In the regard of it here, this has been asked in the SCRA question paper here, as of I told you here, that it has been asked in the SCRA question paper. The options we have is that is the first and third and fourth, and the second and third here. In the regard of it, the first statement that all animals are carnivorous and some animals are carnivorous, this will not satisfy. So the first, all animals are carnivorous, some animals are not carnivorous, and all animals are not carnivorous. In the regard of it here, the first and third will be, because in here you have to say that which two of the statement cannot be true simultaneously, and but cannot both be false as well. So these were the two statements, and for that sake you have an option, that is A, that is your first and third here. Let's go ahead with another one, and that is, this has been asked in the SCRA question paper. That is also an important one here. Let's go ahead with the second question of the session, and the questions we have is all children are inacquisitive, and some children are inacquisitive. The third is no children are inacquisitive, and the fourth is the some children are not inacquisitive here. The options we have here is first and fourth, first and third, and second and third. This has been asked in the IAS question paper. Here they had asked you about that you have to choose that two statement that cannot be true simultaneously, but can be both or be falsely as well. And according to the question what they had demanded you, you have to answer accordingly. So here with regard of it, the option is first and fourth, first and third, and second and third. This has been asked in the IAS question paper. The answer would be the first and the third here, that all children are inacquisitive and no children are inacquisitive. These cannot be simultaneously true, so that's the reason we'll go ahead with option B here. Let's go ahead with another one. That is the third question of the session here. That some nations wish for the peaceful coexistence. The second is that all the nations wish for the peaceful coexistence. The third is that some nations are not wishing for the peaceful coexistence, and the fourth is that no nation is willing for the peaceful coexistence. This also has been asked in the IAS question paper here. The options we have is the first and third, first and second, first and third, and the second and fourth. And that cannot be true here is that all the nation wish for the peaceful coexistence, and no nations are willing for the peaceful coexistence. So first, second, and fourth will be that answer that what they had demanded of, and that is the second and fourth will be the right answer for this question here. Let's go ahead with another one. The fourth question of the session we have is that examine the following statements regarding a set of balls. The first is that all the balls are black. The second is all balls are white, and the third is only some balls are black, and the fourth is no balls are black. Assuming that the balls can be only black or white, which of the following statement given the above can be both the true but cannot be both the false, that as they had asked you about. This has also been asked in the IS question paper here. The first option we have is that is the first and fourth, the first and third, and the second and third here. In the regard of it, we can say that the answer would be the first and the fourth, because all balls are black and no balls are black. तो obviously बात है दोनों नहीं सही हो सकते. So जैसे option A will be the right answer for this question here. Let's go ahead with another one, and that is your fifth question of the session here. And the statements they had given you, if the conclusion follows from the given statement, अगर आपको given statement से वो conclusion follow लगता है तो you will go with option A. And if the conclusion contradict the given statement, अगर आपको लगता है कि वो conclusion आपका contradict कर रहा है, you will go with B. And the third, that if the conclusion neither follows from nor the contradict from the given statement, अगर आपको लगता है वो statement से follow भी नहीं कर रहा है और contradict भी नहीं कर रहा है, you will go with C. This has been asked in the MBA question paper. Let's go ahead with the questions here that what we have to discuss here, and that are as follows. The question we have is, the sixth question of the session we have is that no experienced engineer is incompetent. The second is Rohan is always a blundering, and third is the no competent person is always a blundering, and the fourth is that therefore the Rohan is not an engineer. This has been asked in the MBA question paper, and that is also an important paper respect to the competition wise if I'm talking about here. In the reference towards a particular question, what you have to go through with is to be answered each and every question with a careful manner, and with regard of it we will go with the option that has been following the given statement, that is the first here. So we'll go ahead as your option A will be the right answer for this question here, that is that these were the statement that the conclusion follows from the given statement as well. So here the next question, that is the seventh question of the session here, that you can see no one takes in that the times unless he will be educated. He is well educated. The second is no hodgepodge can read, and that is the third one is that those who cannot read are not well educated. The fourth is therefore all the hodgepodge takes in the time here. So in the reference towards it, this has also been asked in the MBA question paper here, and with regard of it, so we can say that the conclusion contradict the given statement, and for that sake we'll go ahead with option B will be the right answer for this question here. Let's go ahead with another one, and that what we have as your eighth question of the session. The eighth question of the session we have is that the boys are illogical. The second is nobody is despised who can manage a dog. The third is that illogical person are despised. The fourth is therefore the boys cannot manage the dog. In the reference towards it here, that the statement in the conclusion is following from the statement, so we'll go ahead with option A will be the right answer for this question here. Let's go ahead with another question, that is the your ninth question of the session here, that everyone who is sane can do logic. The second is no lunatics are fit to the soft on the jury, and the third one we have is none of you sons can do logic, and the fourth is that therefore the none of your sons are fit to sense serve on a journey. In the regard of it here, with reference toward this question here, that the answer would be the statement, the option A will be the right answer, that all the conclusions are following from the statement here. Let's go ahead with the 10th question of the session. That what we have here is in the reference towards the question that what we have to go on through with, and after that you will be have to answer it out as well. And in the regard of it, we'll go ahead with this. That is your the 10th question of the session here, and that what we have here. Before starting with the 10th question, we have our question that is the 9th, that my plates are the only thing that I have that are made of glass, and I find all your presents very useful, and none of my plates are of the slightest use as well, and therefore your presents to me are made of glass as well. And try this coaching classes, and you will not be repeat in this that we will discuss here. And after that here in the reference towards the 9th, that my plates are the only thing that I have that are made of glass, and I find all your presents very useful, and none of my plates are of the slightest use, and as well as therefore your represents to me are made of glass as well. In the reference towards it, we can go on through with the option B for that sake, and that will be the right answer for that statements here, that it cannot be the conclusion is not followed from the statement here. Let's go ahead with another one, and that is another question, that is the 10th question. Here, try this question classes, and you will not be repent later. Which of the following, if true, would support and strengthen this statement? This statement has, this question has been asked in the bank PO question paper here. The first we have is that the class is, that is the centrally located. The second is that some teachers who teach in the classes have a good background. The third is all the teachers in the class teach the subjects very well. And the fourth we have is that the student get personal attentions and feedback. And the fifth, of course, we have the class gives a calculator to the first 100 students. In the regard of it, the options we have is that only the first here, that we have the first and the second, but B option we have is only the second, third and fourth, and the C is only the third and the fifth here. In the regard of it, the particular question we will having the option that is the only third and the fourth, but in the reference towards it, we can say that only the third and the fourth will satisfy, and for that sake we'll go ahead with option B here. Let's go ahead with another one, and that is your 11th question of the session here, and that what we have is that which of the following statements are facts here. In the regard of it, the first is that the peacock is a beautiful bird. The next we have is there are 7 stages of human life. The third is there are the 7 days in a week, and the fourth is that a thing of beauty is a joy forever. The options we have is that first and third, and third and fourth, and the third only. And in the regard of it's all four, third and fourth, and the third only. So here with regard of it, the answer would be the third only, and this has been asked in the assistant grade question paper here as well. Let's go ahead with another one in a deep, that is your 12th question of the session here. And the question, the state for that following 4 statements are the following compositions of a participants in the 5 different get together. These questions has been asked in the MBA question paper here. So for the first one here, that we have is that the number of male participant is the same as the number of the female participant, but is it not quite so large the number of the child participants as well. And the B1 is that the number of the male participant is larger than both the numbers of the female that of the child participants. The third we have here in the reference towards it, that here that the number of the child participant is larger than the number of the male, and which are the larger than the number of the female participants as well. In the D case, that is the number of the female participant is the same as the number of the male participants, but the number of the child participant is less than that of the female participant as well. Now here we'll go ahead with the question here. In each of the following questions that contain a statement which is logically equivalent to one and only one, and for each of the questions select which of the above false statement is its logical equivalent. Let's go ahead with the question here, that what we have here, and that what we have to discuss here. So here the questions we have is that you can see, and that the number of female participant is less than that of the number of male participants, and which is not as large as the number of the child participant here. In the regard of it, we will go ahead with option C, and that will be the option C will satisfy this condition, and that is that the number of the child participant is larger than the number of the male, and which is larger than the number of female participants as well. So here we'll go ahead with C, and this has been asked in the MBA question paper here. Let's go ahead with the 14th question of the session that we have is that the number of the female participant is less than that of the male participant, which is larger than that of the child participant. In the regard of it, here we'll go ahead with option B, and that will be the right answer for this question. And this question also has been asked in the MBA question paper here. Let's go ahead with the 15th question of the session here, that the number of the female participants here, in the regard of it, the number of female participants is the same as the number of the male participants, but is not as so small as the number of the child participants here. In the regard of it, we'll go ahead with option D, and here for that sake the option D will satisfy the condition here. Let's go ahead with the 16th question, and that what we have here is that the number of male and female participants are both less than that of the number of child participant, and the former two numbers are solved and the same, and that has been also is asked in the MBA question paper here. In the regard of it, the numbers of the male and the female participants are both less than that of the number of the child participant, and the former that two numbers are the same here. In the regard of it, we can say that we'll go ahead with option A will be the right answer for this question here. Let's go ahead with another one, and that is the last question of the session as well. The 17th question of the session, that the number of the male participant is larger than that of the child participants, and is equals to the number of the female participants here. In the regard of it, we'll go ahead with option D will be the right answer for this question here. So we'll end up with the class that we had completed the miscellaneous logical puzzles as well. In this, as I told you that in the reasoning we had started up with the reasoning has been divided into the two part, and that is the first is your that is verbal reasoning and the non-verbal reasoning, and even the verbal reasoning is also divided into the two parts, that is the general mental ability and the logic reasoning. So we had end up with the verbal reasoning right now, the part 1, and that is your analogy series, that is classification, series completion, coding, decoding, blood relation, puzzle test, sequential output tracing, direction sense test, logical Venn diagram, alphabet test, number ranking and time sequence test, mathematical operation, logical sequence of words, arithmetic reasoning, inserting the missing character, data sufficiency, decision making, assertions and reasons, situation reaction test, and verification of the truth of the statement. This comes under the verbal reasoning, that is general mental ability. In the logic reasoning, if I'm talking about the logic reasoning, we had to cover up the logic, statement arguments, statement assumptions, statement course of action, statement conclusions, deriving conclusion from passages, theme detection, question statement, miscellaneous logical puzzle. Then after that we'll have started with that is non-verbal reasoning, that we had started off with series, analogy, classification, analytical reasoning, mirror image, water image, embedded figure, completions of incomplete patterns, figure matrix, paper folding, paper cutting, rule detection, grouping of identical figures, cubes and dice, dot situation, constructions of squares and triangles, figure formation and analysis, and practice question paper, that what we have to discuss in the next coming classes. And first of all, it's a huge request to all of you that who had not subscribed the channel yet, you can go through with the subscribe button, and please like, share and subscribe our channel, so that many and maximum people can get the information at once, and even though you can also enjoy the video as well. Thanks for supporting us, and thank you. Hope you enjoy this video. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up and give a suggestion on a comment box. Thank you.